Greetings fighters, generals, conquerors, champions, field marshals all over the world. I'm Chevalier, and this is a discussion about what military ideas you should take and the circumstances that you should take them in. And nothing is stopping us from talking about them. Now, let's go over all of them. Aristocratic ideas. They are not that useful, to be honest. They're mainly ideas are average, I would say. The full combo ideas or the military tech cost, it's not that great, but it's decent. They're really crap, to be honest. Nobody actually takes them. Plutocratic ideas are quite the same. Nobody really wants to take them earlier on, although as a Eastern nation you get some decisions there that can give you troops for free. It's possible that you can actually take noble knights to take that decision here. Let's actually show you a little bit. Tag wall, and we get to Wallachia. They are Eastern, and you have Institute Libero Veto here, which is going to give you a huge amount of troops, basically about 12,000 troops. Together with the military power, you can lose war exhaustion, you get a military tradition, which is actually quite good. And you actually have noble knights idea. You have to spend 400 points, you get 100 points back, that means 300, and you get 40 more points when you actually cancel the idea with a refund. If you are in trouble, it's worth it. Again, let it be noted. Let's go back to Brandenburg, to the Space Marines, the Prussian Space Marines. Now, let's go back to ideas. The second one is offensive ideas. They are considered quite good. The land leader shock, the reinforcement time is crap though, the recruitment time is crap. The fire shock, the prestige is crap as well. The siege ability is quite good. Land enforcement modifier is decent. The discipline is decent. It's actually good. And the recover army moral spin is good. Overall, this is one of the prime ideas that you can actually take together with quality and quantity. We'll talk about them soon as well. Now, defensive ideas have the early army tradition +1. Then you have the moral of armies, the land maneuver, the land maintenance modifier, the fort maintenance, the force speed, and the land attrition. Together with attrition for enemies +1%. This, I would say, is good if you actually are playing a PvP scenario, basically. That's the only way I would take a defensive ideas, only if actually playing in a PvP scenario and I'm actually pressured and I lost some territories and I want to basically cause more damage to my guys. Also, it's good if you're actually playing Russia and you can actually increase the damage that I take through the attrition. Again, they are good only for PvP scenarios at best. I haven't encountered a game where I actually need defensive ideas, where I got totally trashed and that I had to take defensive ideas. Like in my, I don't know, 3-4 years or EU4, I don't know, since it got launched, I never have taken defensive ideas, I'll be honest. Now let's talk about quality ideas. Quality ideas give you infantry combatability +10%, early army tradition +1, CAF compatibility, ship durability, moral of navies, naval attrition -25%, ultra compatibility with a bonus to discipline and max. This is good. They are one of the trio. The offensive quality and quantity ideas are one of the best ideas. Again, as with the rest, they are situational. As for the situation that you want to take them in, I'll talk more about them when you actually talk about the trio and basically say to you that there's no best idea. Now, for the quantity ideas, you have national manpower modifier, manpower recovery speed, regiment cost, land maintenance modifier, available mercenaries, garrison size, land attrition, and land force limit modifiers +50%. Again, this is part of the trio. There are situations that you want to take quantity, there are situations when you don't want to take quantity ideas. We'll talk about them when we talk about the trio. And the last one, naval ideas, the same as with the defensive ideas. I have never taken them, to be honest. I never actually had to fight naval battles. I would just overwhelm guys. I would never actually fight any naval battles, simply because losing your galleys or your carracks when there's not a sure way to win, it's quite damaging, to be honest. Like, you never should engage in naval fights because they can cost you a lot. They can cost you tons of ducats, and they're just gonna destroy your navy. It's better to keep them as a deterrent than just wasting them. But let's go through the ideas really quick. You get a naval leader shock, you get the galley combat ability, the leader fire, the prestige from naval battles, the sailor recovery speed, the heavy ship combat ability, the moral of navies with total of ship ability plus 10%. They will give you a huge boost to your naval prowess, but still, it's actually not that needed. Now, we went over all of them. Let it be noted, there are also policies, which we will talk. Although a policy is formed by two ideas and two ideas that you have, we'll talk about them when you actually we go to the trio. It is not worth it to take a full idea just for the policy. Let it be noted, you should take it in consideration, but you should never take it just for a policy. Now, some people say that quantity is the best, some people say that quality is the best, some say that offensive is the best. Honestly, there are no ideas that are the best. They are best suited for a situation, for example. Let's say that you are England and you are wrecking guys. Like, you're really destroying everything. You have a huge amount of force limit, you are the HRE Emperor, you have tons of cash from your colonies. Why would you need to have quantity ideas? Like, you're reinforcing your already huge amount of troops. You're gonna have more manpower when you already have tons of manpower. You're gonna have lower maintenance when you already have tons of cash. It's quite useless. Offensive are better, but still, you get the land force limit modifier and you get the recruitment time. The rest are decent, but again, you have more land force limit modifiers, which are not good, and the recruitment time is crap. So again, they are better than quantity, but they're not the best. For quality, they are huge right now. Although some of them are wasted on ships, basically 3 of them are wasted on ships, the rest are focused on your troops. So basically, infantry compatibility is good, the cavalry compatibility is good, the artillery compatibility is good, the discipline is good. Although the rest are focused on your ships, they are good improvements to your ships overall. So, if you are England, and any nation that has huge amount of troops, huge amount of manpower, and huge amount of cash, quality all the way. Like, there is no reason for you to not make better troops. Let also be noted that in some situations you'll need better troops than tons of troops. For example, you have to fight into Russia, and there's the Russian winter, and you take tons of attrition. It's better for you to have better troops, like that 10% better infantry, for example, than having instead of 10 infantry, have an 11 infantry, because it's gonna decrease your attrition. Let it be noted that attrition, it's also one factor that I tell you right now. Also, transportation. For example, you have a huge empire in the New World, and you have to transport troops from one place to another. It's better if you actually have 20 transports instead of 25 transports. Again, having smaller amount of troops that are more professional is always better than having more troops overall. And the best option to use when you're big is go for quality. There's no reason that you have to take something else. Now, I said quality, not quantity, my bad. It's really muddled up in my room. Now let's talk about quantity. Quantity ideas are useful when you're small. You're small, you're Wallachia, for example, and you need manpower. You have to fight several wars. You don't have enough cash. Uh, you have manpower issues. You need to use mercenaries all over the shit. You need to take attrition. Again, you need land force limit modifiers. If you're small, you need quality ideas. They are the best way to grow big really fast. Other than this, quantity ideas quite suck. Even if you are a medium level nation, I would say that they still suck. Mainly because you should never actually fight any battles. The best generals win their wars without fighting any battles. You just sieging castles, for example. I can just let's say here, as here, and if you saw my Banshee campaign, I was just moving to the high executor capital really fast, but by the time they actually take my capital, I take the capital and I easily piece them out. No battles fought, no manpower wasted, no cash wasted, nothing wasted. It's simply the best general has to win the war with fighting the least amount of battles. That is the best general, not a general that welcomes any battle with open arms. The best general wins a fight with losing the least amount of troops. That is the best general. This is the way that you should actually play the game with not wasting troops. This means that you actually won't need quantity ideas if you're actually medium or really big, because you don't need. If you are smart enough, you won't need to use to have a huge amount of troops at your disposal to fight your enemies. You just have to use your brain. That's why I say that quantity ideas are only useful when you actually fight, when you're actually small guy, because you need the manpower and the land force modifiers, the maintenance cost reduction, etc. Now the last idea is best suited for mid-level. Right, offensive ideas are best suited for mid-level nations. For example, let's say you are Hungary and you need to have better troops, but at the same time you have the cash, but you don't have the land force limit modifier. So you need to have more troops. You have the manpower, you have the cash, but you don't have the land force limit modifier, which this comes good in hand. The siege ability as well is decent, because you want to expand really fast. If you are really big, for example, you are, I don't know, let's say France, the big blue blob, and you have 20 artillery, 30 artillery, you have tons of artillery, you actually won't need a siege ability that much. It's decent, but with that many artillery in dispatch when you have to take forts, it's not that needed. You can just place, like have 10 stacks of artillery, basically taking every fort, and squash the rest of their armies with your troops. You can think of ways to actually do this, so you actually don't need siege ability. You are good with just quality ideas. So offensive ideas are best suited for mid-level nations. They basically give you an overall boost in shock value, fire value, maneuver as well, if I'm not mistaken. No maneuver. But they give you overall boost in pips. Although I don't really like focusing on luck on rolly generals, to be honest. You shouldn't actually fight battles by luck. For example, I have 20 versus 20. If I am lucky, I might win. No, you have to fight. Every battles have to be won. Like, you should never engage in battles that you can lose, unless you're basically forced into a corner. That's the only reason that you actually fight battles that you can lose. You should always fight battles that you'll win. Like, there's no reason in my mind that you actually want to fight battles that you might lose, unless you are, for example, having fun, something like that. But if you're trying to play as efficient as possible, never go for fights that you cannot 100%, or let's say over 80% win or 70% win. Like, there's no reason not to do this. Which means that, again, as I said before, try to fight the least amount of battles. And it goes down with quantity ideas. That's why you don't actually need quantity ideas that much. Now, again, these ideas are best suited for different situations. No idea is the best idea for any country. Although some say that you must actually increase your country's capabilities, I would say that you should increase your situation's capabilities, not the country's capabilities. For example, if you are playing as Brandenburg, right, and you're small, you need quantity ideas. You shouldn't take offensive ideas or quality ideas so you can get the Prussian Space Marines. No, you're Brandenburg, you're small, you need to have more troops to fight more battles, for example, to conquer more land. With every war, there's a risk of losing troops, either to attrition or battles. Even if you are a good general, you still have to fight some battles, and you're still gonna lose troops. So quantity ideas are the best if you're small, with offensive ideas if you're medium, and quality ideas if you're big. Like, that's the way you should actually play the game. There's nothing much to say about this. Let it be noted that the policies will come in handy, for example, depending on whatever you take. Usually I take a military idea as the fourth or the fifth idea. Sometimes the third idea, but that's rarely I take as a third idea. So depending on where you are, you might actually want to couple this with your policies. For example, let's see, you are Castile. Right, Castile is the best option right now, and you want to take exploration ideas. And you have exploration ideas together with quality ideas that give you manpower recovery speed and land attrition minus 25%. It's not that great. The manpower is decent, but the land attrition, you should never actually go somewhere that you actually take attrition. With offensive ideas, you get embargo efficiency and privateer efficiency. Shit. And with quantity ideas, you get the national manpower modifier and land leader maneuver. Basically, the only good one here I would say is the quantity ideas, I guess, although the same can be said about the quality ideas. Both work really well. They both give you the manpower, and the land leader maneuver or the land addition can be actually thrown to the side, like they're quite useless. Although the land leader maneuver is gonna help you to some degree, but still, again, so can the decrease in attrition. And let's say that you actually get expansion ideas next at Castile, right? And you go with offensive ideas. And let's say we go with quality ideas, and you get the land leader fire. Not that great in the early game, and although you take this, you'll need to roll another general as well. It's not that useful. And with the offensive ideas, you get spinal construction, aggressive expansion impact. It's quite decent, especially because Castile might be small. Even in the mid game, you might not actually expand that much. You're still gonna have Aragon as your vassal, or as your pew basically, and have you use their troops, but you won't have that many of your troops, and offensive ideas would be good as well. That's why I said this. And with quantity ideas, you get the land force limit modifiers and gold bar settler increase. This bodes well with your colonization. Again, you should take this into account, but never take a military idea solely based on the policies. Like, you should take them into account, but remember that you're gonna have to spend points on those policies, and you cannot turn them down. You cannot cancel them whenever you want. Sometimes they can be a hindrance, sometimes they can be good for you. Again, it depends on the situation if you want to take a policy as well. And this is it. This is all the talk about the best military ideas that you can take. They are offensive ideas and quantity. Those are the three main ideas that you want to take. And this is it. There are no best ideas. Like, somebody says that quantity are the best, quality is the best, offensive is the best. Honestly, none of them are the best. They are best suited for a situation. And the situation that I told you earlier on, those are the best situations that you can use those ideas. And with this, my dear conquerors, I bid you farewell, and I'll see you in the next episode, where I honestly don't know what I'll do. think I'll go over a main idea or deploy ideas and talk about different starts and the situation that you should actually take those ideas, and probably after that I'll talk about overall situation and overall strategies regarding ideas. But then again, this is all for today. I bid you farewell, my dear conquerors, generals, field marshals, champions, fighters, whatever you are, from a Viking to let's say an Aztec warrior. And I bid you farewell, bye guys. Ciao.